Hello everyone, my name is Lala. So for now, I will going to explain about expectancy violation theory. So let's jump right in. So for the first one, what is expectancy violation theory? Expectancy violation theory, or EVT, is a theory of communication that analyzes how individuals respond to unanticipated violation of social norms and expectation. The theory was proposed by Jude K. Bergen in the late of 1970 and continued throughout the 80s and the 90s as nonverbal expectancy violation theory, based on Bergen research studying proxemic. Bergen's work initially analyzed individual allowance and expectation of personal distance, and how responses to personal distance violation were influenced by the level of liking and relationship to the violators. The theory was later changed to its current name when other research began to focus on violation of social behavior expectation beyond nonverbal communication. The theory of violation of expectation was originally established to explain the communicative effect of proxic violation during occurrence of interpersonal and group interaction. Proxic referred to the arrangement, use, and interpretation of space and distance. The term was introduced by an anthropologist named Edward T. Hall. He described the proxemic as a hidden cultural dimension or a set of silent language used universally across the culture and express an understanding of the message in a culture. So, what is proxemic? EVT offers an opportunity to study how individuals communicate through personal space. This part of the theory explains the notion of personal space and our reaction to others who appear to violate our sense of personal space. What we define as personal space, however, varies from culture to culture and from person to person. The success or failure of violation are linked to perceived attraction, credibility, influence, and involvement. Introduced by Edward Hall in 1966, proxemic deal with the amount of distance between people as they interact with one another. Spatial distance during an interaction can be indication of what type of relationship exists between the people involved. There are 4 different personal zones defined by Hall. These zones include intimate distance, range from 0 until 18 inches. This distance is for close, intimate encounters, normally core family, close friend, lovers, or pet. People will normally share a unique level of comfort with one another. The second one is personal distance, range from 18 inches until 4 feet. Reserved for conversation with friends, extended family, associate, and group discussion. The person distance will give each other person more space compared with the intimate distance, but is still close enough to involve touching one another. The third one is social distance, range from 4 until 10 feet. This distance is reserved for newly formed groups and new acquaintances and colleagues, one many have just met. People generally do not engage physically with one another within this section. And the last one is public distance, range for 10 feet to infinity, reserved for public setting with large audience, strangers, speeches, and theater. So for the next one, in what perspective which the expectancy violation theory falls in? Perspective for expectancy violation theory, in my opinion, is positivist. Positivist itself has the meaning of focusing on finding a clear causal, the relationship between things. Focus on knowledge, reality, object, and measurable, a quantity of property, and also because this theory has an empirical approach to knowing. Because the researcher look for pattern in the factor that influence expectation and deviation of those expectations and how they can predict communication in all contexts. And now I will explain about the main idea and the principle of the theory. The main principle in the theory is expectation. As a communication theory, EVT is concerned specifically with what people expect to do in interpersonal interaction. Expectations are enduring cognition about the behavior anticipated of others. They are product of social norm in a given situation and any individuating information that one actor has about to the other. And the next main principle is the communication reward balance. Communication reward balance is an evaluation one's make about the person who committed a violation of expectancy. M. Griffin summarized the concept behind communication reward balance as the sum of positive and negative attribute both to the encounter plus of potential to reward or punish in the future. The social exchange theory explained the individual seeks to reward some and seeks to avoid punishing other. Expectancy violation theory also focuses in the idea of individual perception of the interaction in particular situation. People, while communicating, will create an expectation how the other will react. Violation to this expectation can cause to a perception that will be positive or negative. People behave differently according to the cultural value to grow up, and this influence the reaction to people considerably. Expectancy violation theory also depends on the personal space. Expectancy violation theory is also depends on the personal space. The personal space is boundary we keep and freedom is given to the people whom we are close with. Particular person space is expected from the people whom they interact with, according to the relationship they have with them. The theory explained that people tend to protect the personal space when they experience a violation in the expected behavior.